Move the wand slowly across the receive the 140-degree treatment for at least 5 to 10 seconds, depending on the species of mussels found. Recent research had determined that 5-second exposure to 140-degree temperatures will kill 100% of quagga mussels, but 10-second exposure time is required to kill the thicker-shelled zebra mussels. Here you are seeing the turbo nozzle being used to clean the underside of the watercraft and trailer. This is an example of using the variety of attachments available to treat hard-to-reach areas of the watercraft. There are areas on watercraft that can be damaged by using high-pressure nozzles. Here you see a diffuser attachment being used to flush the gimbal area where the rubber boots and gaskets could be damaged by the high-pressure spray. The diffuser unit kills mussels but typically does not remove them. You can use small brushes to get rid of mussels that were killed by the hot water flush but remained attached. The attachment seen here is an adaptation of the standard earmuffs used to flush outboard cooling systems. Attach the earmuffs, connect the hot water hose, and once you have hot water flowing at 140 degrees, start and run the engine for 90 seconds to kill any mussels that may be found in the engine cooling system. Because of the high water temperatures, remember to wear rain gear, heavy gloves, and safety glasses when doing any decontamination. The diffuser attachment can also be used to treat the bunks and hollow frame members on watercraft trailers. On the inside of the watercraft, remove the engine hatch and check for standing water. If any water is found, drain as thoroughly as possible and then use the diffuser attachment to thoroughly flush the area for at least 2 to 3 minutes. Repeat this same process for flushing live wells, fish wells, and any storage compartments that can contain raw water. Be sure to inspect any onboard storage compartments. Remember that anchor lines, PFDs, fenders, and other equipment can harbor mussels and veligers. If any moisture is found in any storage compartment, remove the contents, place them on the containment mat, and thoroughly rinse with 140-degree water to kill any small mussels or veligers that may be present. You should check the water temperature of your unit frequently to ensure that a temperature of 140 degrees is maintained at the point of contact. Remember that water can cool as much as 15 to 20 degrees per foot of distance. A remote temperature sensor like the one seen here works best for this application because the high water temperature can pose a safety risk to the operator. When you're doing inspections, like we said, you'll come into contact with a large variety of watercraft, and one of special consideration are competition water ski or wakeboard boats, as these now have specialized ballast tanks in them that can hold raw water. Some of the things that you need to look for that may key in that a boat may have these ballast tanks are multiple through-hole fittings, both to the stern and to the forward portion of the boat. This gives you an indication that there may be some tanks in this boat. Another one, an obvious one, is a wakeboard rack. Again, generally wakeboarders like to have a boat that's going to throw a big wake so they can do jumps and aerials. And to do that, they want to have a boat that's weighted down, hence why they put ballast water in these things. So we're also going to take a look in the engine compartment, and I'm going to show you some specialized plumbing that shows how this water is coming up into these tanks. And these tanks are not always obvious when you're looking. So we'll go to the back and take a look at that. When you start to look in down at the bilge area, you notice there's extra piping here. Here we have 4 sets of tubes and elbow joints. That's a good indicator that there's extra ballast tanks inside of watercraft. The problem with these boats that have the specialized ballast tanks in them is there's really no effective way to get in and inspect them. They're an enclosed system. They're usually encased in fiberglass. You can't see into them. So the safest thing to do is do a decontamination on them. First step is you want to make sure that they are drained to the greatest extent possible, and then you're going to fill these with the hot water. Now, one thing to remember though, when we talk about the 140 degrees, that will actually damage the impellers on the pumps that fill these tanks. So what you're actually shooting for is you're shooting for a temperature range that is between the 104 to 130 degree maximum. To do that, you can get a specialized attachment for the wand